Just as scriptures have it, when a house is divided against itself, it can never stand. Permit me to borrow the words in an article by Prince Vincent. He stated it emphatically that the colonial rule exploited Nigerians in a way that it benefited the Europeans. He's actually not far from the truth, because that is what we are currently facing even after our independence in 1960. You're welcome to the CIA Corner here on TAF TV. Eya Okeme is my name. Like you know, we make commentaries, in-depth analysis regarding headlines that are making rounds on a newspaper. International news, Nigerian news specifically. Now we're still addressing the protests as it keeps unfolding. And today we'll be bringing to you different reactions in different, should I say, the 36 states of the Federation regarding the August 1st to 10th protest that is coming up. Do well to stay tuned. Alright, you're welcome back from that very quick break. Permit me to take you down memory lanes regarding how we got our independence as a nation. Nigeria, as every other colonized community, or should I say society, actually sought for our independence, but in a very drastic way. It will interest you to know that in 1775, Americans actually waged a war, and it was actually tagged the American War for Independence. They actually waged a war in 1775 to get their own independence. Likewise, other countries like Algeria in 1955, they actually waged a war, and it was tagged the Algerian War for Independence, and they got their own independence. But coming to the state of our dearest nation, Nigeria, for the first time in the history of the world, I actually place it, our dearest nation, Nigeria, actually took to the street and mounted a peaceful protest which granted us our independence. That's to say, the peaceful protest, in quotes, is actually in our DNA. It is in our blood, and it is in our DNA to actually carry out a peaceful protest. Now, one will actually wonder what actually happened to Nigeria. Reasons why I took you back memory lanes. It is actually, just like I earlier said, it is in our DNA to protest. We as a nation actually protested to get our independence. It is protest that brought us to where we are today. But emphatically speaking, it was a peaceful protest that brought about our independence as a nation. Now, regarding the protest that is about to hit our streets, the 36th state of the Federation, come August 1st to 10th, 2024, our president is not against it. Emphatically speaking now, he made it very clear in our Federal Executive Council meeting that he is not against the Nigerians actually protesting, that it is our civil right. It is clearly written in the Constitution that, okay, when things are not going right, when things are actually going sour in a particular nation, and Nigeria inclusive, we have a right as citizens to actually say, okay, we are hitting to the streets, but it has to be a peaceful protest. So at this juncture, our president is not against, he's not stopping the protest from taking place, but he's also of the opinion, just like every single Nigerian, just like what happened in 1960, that it should be a peaceful protest. Now, also reacting to this, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio gave his own view regarding this particular protest that's about to take place come 1st to 10th. Now, he is of the opinion, just like what the president said. Now, adding to what the president said, he stated that it is the right of every single Nigerian, backed up with the Constitution, that we have every right to protest as Nigerians regarding the happenings in the nation. So at this point, the Senate President, just like every single Nigerian, have been saying for the past, should I say 1 week now, that this particular protest that is about to take place is being backed up by those that actually failed the general election that took place 2023. And he stated it clearly that they want to come into governance through the back door. Now, it is quite funny because of late we have heard a lot of allegations. We know of late there has been some level of allegations pointing fingers at the Labour presidential candidate Peter Obi. Now, funny enough, yesterday Peter Obi actually threw his weight behind this particular protest. In quotes, he is actually in support of this protest, but it should be a peaceful protest. And also reacting, we know of late our FCT minister, I know he has actually been making rounds because he has not kept quiet. He's one of the persons that have not actually kept quiet regarding this particular particular protest that is about to take place. You know, as at yesterday, he said he wants a literal letter. Now, that same yesterday, he said that the protesters, in quote, are armed robbers. He will not allow armed robbers to actually mount protests in our dearest nation, Nigeria. Now, these are the reactions of Nigerians regarding these two words. First, coming from our Senate president, stating it that, okay, the persons that are protesting, the persons actually behind this protest are those that failed election. And on the other hand, our FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, is stating it that this planned protest is being carried out by armed robbers. Don't we think we're doing more harm than good? In as much as we are leaders, there is a lot. One will actually say a lot is expected from us in time like this when Nigerians are actually angry. We tend to react to every single word that comes from our leaders. Funny enough, the FCT minister has actually tagged this particular brain behind this protest to be armed robbers, and which is, at some point, it's very, very wrong. We saw on our headlines yesterday where some senators, as at on Friday, had already deserted Abuja. They have actually jackpot in one word, just like every single Nigerian would actually say. A time where we actually need our leaders the most, they are running away. All right, of late, we can actually see that most of our senators have actually jackpot, just like what most Nigerians are actually saying. The time where we need our leaders to sit down and negotiate with us, most of them are running away. You can't actually blame them at some point, because you could still remember what happened in 2020. It actually started as a peaceful protest, but all of a sudden it gone sour and lives were actually lost. Now, in a new development, just like our president keeps saying, that he will not fold his hands and watch Nigerians suffer, that we are in this together. Our presidency, in a Federal Executive Council meeting as at yesterday, have actually declared our bag of rice to be at 40,000 naira. I would say a round of applause to our dearest president and the presidency at large, because they're actually taking bold steps to see how Nigerians could actually go away from this suffering, this hunger that we are currently facing. So currently now, a bag of rice will be sold at 40,000 naira, but at designated centers. Nigerians are now asking, it is actually a very good thing to actually place rice at 40,000 naira, bringing it, that is slashing the price at half, because prior to this time, rice was sold at 80,000 naira. But our federal government have actually looked into the heart of Nigerians and see that we are suffering. They actually brought it down to 40,000 naira. But it is sold at designated centers. Just like I said earlier, Nigerians are asking, why sell this rice in designated centers where most Nigerians don't even know the direct location? Now, just like every common Nigerian will say, oh God, drop location, we could go buy the rice. We're very happy that federal government have actually sliced down the price of rice, but a lot still needs to be done in terms of distribution. Most Nigerians don't even know where to get this 40,000 naira bag of rice yet, though the federal government are saying, okay, they are going to be sold in designated areas. So at this point, we don't want to complain. You know, we have actually laid a lot of complaints that Nigerians have actually thrown stones to our federal government. Kudos to them for slashing our rice from 80,000 and above to 40,000 naira. But they should actually, just like I earlier said, they should drop location regarding this bag of rice and how we can actually go. All right, lastly for today, we are addressing the protest that actually took place. The peaceful protest against protest that actually took place in Borno State and some parts of Lagos. Now, some activists, some private organizations actually stepped out to say no, that they don't want protest. Some private organizations actually stepped out to say no, they don't want a protest that will actually result to what happened in 2020, that is the NSAS protest. And in quotes, they are protesting against protest. Permit me to say, Nigeria is the first country to actually organize a protest against protest. Most Nigerians, you know, I keep telling you the reactions of Nigerians. Most Nigerians are of the opinion that federal governments have actually outsmart our protest that is coming up come 1st of August to 10th. At this point, I'll actually ask you, is this really true that the federal government are now the mastermind behind the protest against protest? All right, this is all we have for you regarding the headlines that are making rounds on our newspaper headlines. Remember, this is the CIA corner where we make commentaries regarding headlines that are making rounds. Ayo Keme is my name. Regardless of what happens, do well to take care of yourself.